Hey folks, and welcome to the Daily Ratings Weekly Movie News Podcast. This week's news brought to you by Put Up or Shut Up. Yes, let's start with an update for the potential future purchase of Warner Bros. Discovery. So any interested parties had to get their bids in by late last week, and nothing has changed on who those interested parties are, the three main companies being Comcast, Paramount, and Netflix. Paramount, by the way, has already made not just one or two, but reportedly three separate offers, which have all been turned down. But now things are getting pretty serious and big. Now, although Paramount denied this amount, a leak has come out this past week that they will now be offering $71 billion for all of Warner Bros. Discovery. A massive amount, but yet probably not that far off. Now, Netflix and Comcast might not need to offer that much. Paramount is the only one looking to purchase all of Warner, meaning the streaming, the film studios, and the cable side of things, where Comcast and Netflix are just looking for the streaming and studios. And Warner was already going to be splitting up their cable business from their streaming and studio operations next year. A question comes up, though, which is, where would Ellison and Paramount get that kind of capital? And the answer is, well, from the Middle East, which apparently would be covering not a small amount of the money. And Ellison also wouldn't be the only one either, because Comcast reportedly, and in rumors, will also be using Saudi money to sweeten their deal as well. And then with Netflix, who knows? These are all unconfirmed as of right now. Now, the Netflix CEO does say, don't worry, if they buy Warner, whatever films come out under the Warner name, they will still get proper theatrical releases. But I mean, that doesn't really mean anything, and who can really trust that statement? So that's where we are right now. The offers are in, and now the real back and forth begins. Once when David Zaslav over at Warner makes a decision and the deal is inked, it will still have to be approved by the government. And you know, that's not necessarily a done deal. It is a pretty big major merger. The Skydance Paramount merger did go through recently, sure, but that was just an $8 billion deal. And this would be a major player with Warner no longer being really in the competitive market like it is now, so making things even less competitive. But time will tell. As more comes out, we'll be sure to keep you all updated in what the deal is with this whole mess. Okay, now for some more normal movie news. It looks like Jack Bauer will be coming back once again to save the day, this time though in a movie and not a show. So 20th Century Studios sounds like they will be gearing up to make a 24 movie after talking about it now for over a year. No major specifics on plot and cast yet, but you can imagine that Kiefer Sutherland will be returning if this thing gets off the ground, which it sounds like it will be happening. Director Jeremy Saulnier, who I always kind of pay attention to and cover here on the news often. He's a great, gritty director, best known for films like Green Room and Blue Ruin, but probably most notably his Netflix release of last year of Rebel Ridge. He currently has a movie in production, which we've discussed, called October, but news just broke that he will be working with Netflix to create a TV show. The show will be called Trigger Point and will be starring Joel Egerton. The story follows a crew of former Tier 1 Special Forces operators who have now turned to the criminal world under the guise of private military contracting. So Saulnier was being pursued by 7 different companies to make this project, the final 2 coming down to Apple and Netflix, with Netflix winning the bidding war. So we're very excited to see a great director get a shot at a series. In another director update, Brady Corbet, who directed last year's The Brutalist and also co-wrote the soon-to-be-released The Testament of Anne Lee, which is also getting some Oscar buzz now, he has his next movie set. So Brady says that he will be filming next year, and here is what he says about the actual film. Quote, "It's true that the film is an X-rated movie, and it's true that it takes place mostly in the 1970s, but the film spans from the 19th century into the present day. It's just predominantly focused in the 70s. The film is really, really genre-defined." End quote. So, it's going to be shot on rare 65mm film cameras. It's going to be a Western. It will be rated NC-17. And, oh, by the way, Corbet is very upfront about the runtime. It's going to be over 4 hours long. Which, you know, okay, cool, but also, come on, man. You need to have a really good reason for being over 3 hours, and at over 3, you're hurting the box office these days, it seems. But now if you're over 4, I get that it's not always about the money, but can it sometimes maybe be about the money a little bit and mostly about the viewer? It's going to be very interesting, too. A very adult Western around an immigration story from China to the American West Coast. We'll see what we get. It's very exciting. It's a very talented guy. Maybe just not excited for the length. Some Shakespeare news here, and no, nothing about Hamnet, the Shakespeare movie coming out this coming weekend, but rather the story Othello, or at least a modern-day take on it. So Othello was made into an off-Broadway play that got a decent amount of buzz in the late 20-teens. People liked it very much, and most of all, the main star in the play, one of our favorite guys, Daniel Craig. So Craig loved doing the play and very much wanted to get the story told on film, along with Barbara Broccoli, the main executive producer for years of the James Bond films. Daniel and Broccoli had been trying to find the money since the success of the play, but nothing was really happening up until now. And once again, thanks to some Middle Eastern money. So with some Qatari money coming in, Broccoli was able to announce that Othello will be filming in fall of next year, the cast being David Oyelowo, Rachel Brosnahan, and Cynthia Erivo. And although she didn't announce Daniel Craig, another report came out that said that he's absolutely in it, which makes sense because he's the main guy and was also the one pushing really hard for it. The director will also be one of those actors, David Oyelowo. So he starred alongside Craig in the play and has directed smaller projects before. And as far as acting goes, he's most well known for his role as MLK Jr. in the movie Selma. So as I said, it's a modern-day take on the play, taking place in an American barracks in Iraq. So good for Daniel, good for Barbara Broccoli. Finally, they're able to make this movie. Let's jump on over to the box office for this past weekend. So the fifth biggest film this weekend was newly released Rental Family, making $3.3 million. Fourth was The Running Man with $5.8 million. That movie, by the way, looking to lose Paramount reportedly for $200 million. Talk about costly. Third for the weekend was Predator Badlands with $6.3 million, a worldwide total of $160 for that film. Second was Now You See Me, Now You Don't, making $9.1 million. And the biggest movie this weekend was absolutely Wicked for Good, ranking in $150 million even, with a worldwide total of $226 million. An extremely good opening weekend for that film. Coming up this Thursday, Vincent Daly will be watching, rating, and reviewing. We have all new movies here for you folks. So, we are covering Sisu, Road to Revenge, and that's directed by Halimari Helander. Then we're watching Brendan Fraser in Rental Family, and that's directed by Hikari. And of course, we're putting on our Ruby Reds for the week, as Vin is reviewing Wicked for Good, directed by John M. Chu. Excited to hear about all of those. But that's it for your weekly movie news here. We'll leave you today with a quote from an actor, Daniel Craig. I've never really had a desire to do Shakespeare. For me, it's just too many lines. And all right, folks, the Daily Ratings Weekly Movie News Podcast, that was it. See you on Thursday.